TFA fam, appreciate you rocking with me. Thanks for joining here to answer all of your start, sit, trade, waiver questions, all of that ahead of lineups locking here in about 2 hours. So, with that out of the way, Kev is going to be joining me here in a little bit, but instead of waiting, figured I would just go ahead and get this party started. Appreciate you guys jumping in with all the questions right off the bat as well. So, let's go ahead and dive in. Real deal, Michael Gill kicking us off. Seems like always on Sunday mornings we have Michael in here early. But pick two here have PPR, Hunt, Monty, Dobbins, and Cook. In a half PPR where touchdowns become a little more important, I'm going to go with the first two here. Dobbins is obviously in play as well, but we saw Gus Edwards come back in his first game off of injured reserve, had 10 carries right off the bat. Dobbins had 15. Edwards was a little more, did a little bit more with his as well, a little bit more efficient. Cook is just in an absolute awful spot here. So he's the guy that I would have at the bottom of this list. But like I said, half PPR, I'm going to go Hunt and Monty. Love this spot for Monty. Obviously, the thing you get worried about is like hopefully it doesn't end up being a Jahmyr Gibbs just explosion spot. But I did sprinkle a little bit on Monty for 2+ touchdowns at like plus 320, I think it was. So I love Monty in this spot today. Half PPR, we need 3: Lamb, Pickens, Tillman, and Dell. Pickens and Tillman are locked in for me. And then this comes down to somehow Lamb versus Dell. Man. Golly. Probably going Lamb, but I don't feel great about it. Pickens and Tillman for sure. I mean, obviously last week Lamb should have had a touchdown, which would have made his fantasy numbers look a lot better. He is getting pummeled with targets as well. I think it's Lamb. With Collins coming back, I think he ends up going back to being the focal point of that passing attack. So let's go those first three. Ladd or Sutton. This is going to be Courtland Sutton for me. I really, really like this spot for Courtland Sutton. Ladd McConkey is in the discussion as well, but the Bengals have done pretty well against slot receivers. I think I actually like Quentin Johnson a little bit more than Ladd McConkey this week, which is not something I ever thought would be coming out of my mouth after the year that Quentin Johnson had last year. But yeah, it's going to be Sutton for me. Then we need 1 wide receiver, 1 running back, and a flex. Pickens, Tillman, Ladd, Chubb, Ramondre, Dowdle. We're going to go Pickens at receiver, Tillman at flex. Then I'm going to roll out Chubb. I like Chubb in this spot. I don't see this being a spot where he is game scripted out. And we saw him come back and he was getting, with the snaps he was seeing, he was basically involved in 80% of the snaps he was getting. Now, coming off the bye, extra week to rest, going up against an awful Saints run defense as well. I like Chubb in this spot. Looks like the last one here from Michael. Half PPR, we need 3: Tyreek, Higgins, Reed, Ridley. Tyreek and Higgins for sure. Then it kind of comes down to do you need to swing for the fences? I think Ridley potentially has a higher ceiling in this matchup. It's better on paper with the Vikings giving it up, but I'm just worried with Ridley that we end up seeing a situation where they just blitz the hell out of Will Levis and he can't do anything. And it's one of those games where Ridley has, 12 targets, but he catches 3 for 30, something like that. So I think Reed is the safer play, but Ridley has the higher ceiling. So that's like in a vacuum, I'm probably going Reed. But if you're behind from Thursday night and you need to try and make up some ground, you're projected to lose by 30 points or whatever it is, I would take the swing with Ridley. RD, appreciate you coming in. Sorry, guys, trying to do a little social media at the same time. Morning, fellas. Need one running back, one flex in a full PPR. Cook, Swift, Dobbins, Ridley, Higgins, also Pitts, Disley, and Nix or Goff. Need the dubs this week. Don't we all, RD? Don't we all? So one running back. I'm going to go, golly. Oh, boy. Just don't love this spot for Cook, like I said. The Chiefs also aren't giving up a ton in the passing game to running backs either, which obviously, slow, like removes another out, quote unquote. I'm going to go in a full PPR. I'm going to go Swift. I think with the change at OC, hopefully this one understands that you can't have Caleb Williams behind that offensive line do 5 7-step drops in the pocket and ask him to process and do a ton. So this could potentially be a spot where we see Swift used more as a pass catcher. We started to see that a little bit more over the past couple of weeks with the breakout he's been having. And then in the flex spot, we're going to go Higgins, Pitts, or Disley. I'm going to go Pitts. I like this spot for Pitts here. Denver has been pretty good against like everything except tight end. So I like Pitts in that spot. And then Nix or Goff. I'm going to go Nix over Goff just because this could be a spot where Goff throws 22 times and it ends up going all through the running backs in this one. It doesn't make you feel great because it's also a spot where Goff could throw 22 times and have 4 through the air. Like we've seen those kind of games too, but I'm going to go Nix in that spot. Garvey, good morning. Bye week fill-in, Gus or Warren in a PPR. In a PPR, I'm going to lean Warren. He had the back issue pop up on Thursday. He was a DNP, but then he came back limited, I believe, on Friday. And it seems like he should be good to go outside of a setback during warmups. And with as good as Baltimore has been against the run, I think this could be a sneaky spot here for Warren over Gus. Hey, pal.
What's up?
How are you?
Doing well.
You want to throw in your 2 cents on Gus versus Warren for your Heat brother?
Yeah, I think I probably agree. It's just tough because the Ravens are so good against the run, but if they utilize the running backs in the passing game, then I think it opens up, just like we've seen the last couple of weeks, like Chase Brown. It's super close, but I think I would just lean Warren.
Emmanuel, always love seeing you in here. Good morning to you. Happy Sunday as well. Do I start Russ or Bo Nix? Also pick one for the flex. Let's just start with the quarterback one first. I'm going to go Russ here in this spot.
Yeah, I agree. I really like both the quarterbacks this week, but I lean Russ.
And then we need one in the flex. Brian Thomas, Etienne, or Pittman. Oh, boy.
I'm going to go with Etienne just because without Tank Bigsby, you feel a little bit better about his role. I know it's not the best matchup, but he can get there through the air. I just don't know what to think of Brian Thomas at this point. Don't love it with Mac Jones. And then Pittman, I'm not playing. Like, I have Pittman ranked at like wide receiver 60 or something like that this week. I just back injury, everything else. I just don't really love that spot for him. And so I think I would just go ETN and hope that, he continue regardless of whatever the how this game plays, which, I mean, to be honest, the Lions should boat race them, but he should still be okay because he's still involved as a pass catcher.
Yeah, I think you're right. Probably feel better about ETN's involvement. And then Chargers, Jets, or Browns. I like the Browns here.
I agree.
The Browns have been aggressive. They just haven't been getting there. The Saints offensive line still banged up. Derek Carr could go full Derek Carr at any given second. So I like the Browns here. Guy BJ, good morning. Should I start Taysom, Knox, or Jonnu? This one is always, you're muted anyway. This one is always, it always comes down to, do you want to take the volatility with Taysom? You know what you're getting. You're getting 3 or you're getting 23. There's no in between with Taysom Hill. So if you want to go with the volatility, I would go Taysom. Knox is obviously the safer option here. No Dalton Kincaid in a game where you're projecting the passing game to struggle versus wide receivers, and the running back and for James Cook to struggle as well. Should open up some more looks for Knox.
It's going to be Knox for me. If you look last year, whenever Dalton Kincaid missed time, he ran like 70% of the routes. He saw over a 20% target share. So it's really hard not to like this matchup. Taysom is in a good spot too. I just lean towards a little bit more obvious play, and so I would go with I would go Knox. And also the Chiefs just really struggle. I mean, they allow the 4th most points to tight ends. I mean, it's just a really good spot, and they're missing so many of their pass catchers too. So I would just go Knox.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. J2 Nice, good morning. Good morning to you. Start Chase Brown at flex. Other options: Pollard, Shakir, Stevenson. With those options, I would stick with Chase.
Yeah, I have Chase at a top 12 as a top 12 running back this week.
I don't hate it. Another one from Emmanuel. 12-team full PPR: Taysom or Disley or Brock.
It's gonna be Taysom on this one.
I'm gonna go Taysom there as well. I do like Disley, but Taysom's involvement, although it didn't result in the Taysom explosion spot, the way that he was being used last week is exactly what we want to see from a potential Taysom Hill explosion spot. So that could easily be this week. Noel, start 1, Tyreek, Tillman, or Jacoby. Is going to be Tyreek for me.
Yeah. I actually like all 3 of these wide receivers quite a bit, but it's still Tyreek.
It would be in the order that these are listed out too. Still have Tyreek as a wide receiver 1, Tillman as a wide receiver 2, and then Jacoby as a wide receiver 3. 2 this time for Noel, Sutton, Tillman, London. Oh boy. Tillman for sure.
I may end up regretting this, but I'm going to go with Sutton over London. I just get really nervous. The Broncos are really good against outside wide receivers. Obviously, Surtain, he's probably going to see Surtain on at least probably 70% of the routes. And so I don't love this spot for Drake London. So it worries me a little bit. I like the matchup better for Sutton. Nobody on the Falcons side I'm worried about. Tillman, I think, is a top 20 wide receiver. Sutton's borderline top 20. I have London at wide receiver 25, I think, 24. He's not a bad play. It's just I think I prefer the other 2.
I think I'm with you. Jay Vaughn, good morning, guys. Good morning to you. Rank Downs, Najee, Jawan Jennings in a half PPR. It's going to be Jawan at the top for me, especially now with Kittle likely to be out. Love Jawan Jennings. Then probably Downs and then Najee.
I would go Jennings, slightly Najee, and Downs, but it's close.
Yeah, but it's Jennings by far at the top, and then a drop, and then those two. So if you only need one, it's 1,000% Jennings. Really like him. Also having a really hard time getting away from him in my DFS lineups where I feel like he's going to be super chalky, but can't get away from it at that price. Kyle, Dobbs, Chubb, ETN, pick one, running back, one, flex. So for the running back, I'm going Chubb over ETN. And then I'd probably just take the swing with Dobbs and the flex.
I actually like Chubb a little bit this week. It's really like the matchup for them. I get nervous about Dobbs mainly just because of their like what Bears team is going to show up today. You know, is it the same garbage Bears offense we've seen? If it is, then I don't have a lot of faith that they're going to need to throw the ball that much and the way they spread the ball around. If somehow the Bears can show up today in their offense with obviously, you know, this is a different situation because they have a new offensive coordinator's gone, Shane Waldron's gone, so they made some changes. This is the first word we will have seen with them with these changes, so it's possible. But I think I just go Chubb and ETN, just like it a little bit more.
Will, Mooney, Moore, or Cooper? Full PPR.
I'm going to go Mooney.
Lean Mooney as well.
Amari just worries me with the cast and all the stuff that he's got going on.
The matchup.
The matchup's not great. Chiefs are really good against outside wide receivers. It's slot wide receivers is where they tend to struggle. So
Henry or Pitts. Mentioned this earlier. I like Pitts this week, so I'm going to lean Pitts.
Yep, agreed.
It's just so frustrating. I feel like every week that I mention Hunter Henry as a stream, Austin fucking Hooper pops up and just ruins everything. Like every week that I feel, I'm like, okay, Hunter Henry, 2 weeks in a row, he's had this, this usage and this many catches and receiving yards. Then Austin Hooper comes in and just pops my balloon. Noel, Mooney, Tyreek, Sutton, Tillman. We need two. That is going to be Tyreek and Tillman.
Yeah, agreed.
Speaking of the Chiefs struggling to slot receivers, Kev, Mooney or Shakir?
I'm going to go Shakir on this one.
I think so. I think Mooney has the higher ceiling, but Shakir has a safer floor. Truth. Good morning. 2 wide receivers and 1 super flex. Where's the... Oh, Gino. Okay. So I'm putting Gino in the other super flex spot immediately. I like this spot for him. We've seen him throw a ton. I think this could be a game situation where they have to continue to do that. So right off the bat, I'm putting Gino in the super flex spot, and then 2 wide receivers between Wilson, Adams, JSN.
Wilson and
I think I'm going to go JSN just because, like Cho's saying, sorry, I just was looking at Truth's comments underneath that, having a hard time with Estime. I don't think I want to start 2 Jets either. So
no, I don't think it feels great. Yeah, I would go JSN as the other one. It's just don't get me wrong, they are really consolidated. So it's possible that both Adams and Wilson see 10 plus targets today. And it's not a bad matchup against the Colts. So I don't necessarily hate it, but I do agree. But I love Garrett Wilson today. So
Zach, Zach coming through with the super chat. Appreciate you, my guy. Rank these three: Estimate, Dowdle, ETN. For me, it's going to be Dowdle, ETN, and Estimate.
I think I agree. I do think there's a chance that Estime is a pretty good play, but if I was going to sit one of them, it would be Dowdle, just because the Texans are really good against the run. But with if he if you listen to Mike McCarthy, which take that from what you will, but if he is going to see a true workhorse role and he's going to play, get most of the touches, then even in the passing game, I think that's where he has shown to be a decent pass catching running back, and so I think that's where you just look at it and say, okay, I'll just go Dowdle and ETN, two of the guys that their role. Where Estime is not as defined. We have one game where he saw that kind of workload. I would want to wait a little bit just to make sure that that's the type of role that we're going to continue to see.
And not only that, Estimate hasn't been used as a pass catcher either, where the other two have. So
yeah, if they were to fall behind, then he gets erased immediately.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Zach. Good luck today. Over to the Joker. It's a fitting Abby to go with your name there, Joker. Taysom or Knox? You kind of already had this one. Yeah. Knox is the guy you feel best about. Taysom Hill, if you, like I said, maybe you went up against Saquon on Thursday night, you need to swing. Then I would potentially look at Taysom. Jelly of the month, half the team on by PPR is gross, but sit one. Estimate, Downs, Waddle, Pearsall. That's going to be Estimate for me. And I don't think it's that gross, Jelly.
Speaking of half teams on bye, it's about to get wild the next couple of weeks. I mean, week 13, there's randomly no buys, but week 12 and week 14 is whenever you have 12 teams on bye between those 2 weeks. So there's a lot over the next couple of weeks. So, which I guess makes sense. I couldn't figure out why, but then now it makes sense when I start thinking about it, because week 13 is Thanksgiving and you have the 3 Thursday games and everything else to be able to make up the rest of the weeks. Like it doesn't really make sense to have any teams on bye during Thanksgiving week. So, because you also have the Friday game. So that's 4 games right there between just those 2 days. So, anyways, that's not what we're talking about. I think I agree. I think I probably go I don't know. Like I said, there's a party that likes Estime today. I think he's kind of a sneaky play. I think there's a scenario where he sees 80 yards in a score. I think it's definitely in the range of outcomes for him. I just think it depends on how you project this game to go. Like I said, if the Broncos are able to lead most of this game, then I think Estime could see 20 touches today. I don't think that's crazy. It seems to be that he's the clear now, lead back in terms of getting the touches on the ground, but it's also still a 3-way committee. So keep that in mind. But so for me, I still think I probably go. It's between Estime and Downs for me. I think is the real decision, because Richardson, I just could go so many different directions here. Now he's starting at back at starting quarterback. So
yeah. Daryl, good morning. Ingram or Hawk, and should I start Herbert over Allen? I would go Herbert over Allen.
It's gonna be Ingram for me. I have Ingram at tight end 4. I have Hawk at 6.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. Just doesn't feel great with Mac Jones at the helm, but should get peppered with targets. They should be a scenario where they're down early and often as well. Truth, Judy and DJ Moore available on waivers as well. Do I pick up one of them to start or keep? Oh, pick up one or to start or just to keep on the bench. So Judy, DJ Moore, and then this was also Wilson, Adams, JSN.
I'm not playing either one of them over anybody you have, but I do think it just depends on who you'd be dropping. But yeah, DJ Moore shouldn't. I know DJ Moore has been terrible, but he still shouldn't be available.
Yeah. Yeah, so Truth, let us know what the rest of the roster looks like, or if you're holding on to like 2 defenses or something like that. Because I agree. Because who knows? Maybe this change is what they needed. Shane Waldron is #bad. It's obviously more to fix here than just the play calling. So gonna be a handful for the new OC stepping in, but might work. So I'd still want to pick up DJ Moore. Jelly, hold Braylon Allen on bench or drop to stash Trey Benson. Don't have Connor or Brees. I want Braylon Allen over Trey Benson.
Do you have anybody else that you can? Because I would definitely want to stash Trey Benson. He's actually started to look really good in limited touches recently. Once they've started to work him in. I feel like if you were just gonna say like not that you're trying to predict this, but like if you had thought which running back has the higher likelihood of being hurt over the next how many weeks, it's definitely James Conner. So I do think Trey Benson probably has more appeal that way. And honestly, I mean, they're just in a better offense at that point. So I kind of lean Trey Benson on this one, just because I feel like there's a lot higher likelihood that something happens to Connor. I mean, Connor hasn't played a full 17 game schedule in I think his entire career. Like he's always missed his time, and so I mean, he's been lucky enough, and this bye week came at a good time for him. But I think I slightly lean Trey Benson.
I don't hate it either. I agree. I'd want to get Benson in there. If you can, I lean Allen over Benson. Sean, 2 wide receivers in a flex. Devontae, Sutton, Tillman, Ridley, Dell also pick a QB. So let's start with the wide receivers and the flex first. So I guess we just need 3. There's no other position here.
So Tillman, Sutton,
Adams.
And Adams.
Then QB, Jameis or Drake. I'm going to go Jameis. Oh, Tua is in there as well. Sorry, I didn't see that. I'm going to go Tua over Jameis.
I'm going to go Tua too. I have him at QB 10, but I do really like Jameis, but he's much more volatile than what Tua is. And this is a good matchup. After remember, we have seen the Raiders definitely get absolutely torched. I mean, the last time I think we saw them was whenever the Raiders, I believe, or the Bengals, threw 5 touchdowns against them. So this is a good spot at home.
Dan, extremely ugly. Got to start one of these guys in half PPR. Williams, Dearness, Brooks, or Justice Hill. Josh Jacobs is my other running back for what it's worth. I'm going to go Justice Hill. And just hope it's one of those random games where, he takes a target for a long gain or finds the end zone.
Yeah, I think that probably is right. I was trying to see if there was anybody that stood out that Dearness Johnson is interesting too with no Tank Bigsby, but I don't really love the matchup either. I think you're right. I think I go Justice Hill, especially if they were to fall behind. We know he becomes much more involved in the passing game when that happens. So, people, I'm going to go with that.
Knox or Disley is going to be Knox for both of us. Mr. Big Star. Full PPR, Adams or Tyreek Hill. It's going to be Tyreek.
Yeah.
Joris. Half PPR on the flex, Waddle or Dunze or Knox. Oh.
I'm going to go Knox here.
I think so. That's where I'm at as well.
And also, happy welcome back Nico Collins week.
Yeah, happy Collins Day. JP got to win 3-7 without Kittle. Have a half PPR. We need 2 of the 4 between London, Debo, Tillman, Aaron Jones. Ooh.
I'm going to go the middle too. I'm going to go Debo and Tillman. I mean, you're just looking. I mean, Debo has the highest ceiling, but obviously he hasn't necessarily hit it as much recently. But I do think, Kittle just kind of consolidates things a little bit with him also being out. Obviously, they still have Pearsall and, CMC back, so that helps. But I think I go Debo and Tillman.
I'm with you. Good luck, JP. Grim, fellas, half PPR, big underdog today. Should I go with Ingram or Tucker Kraft? Also, who do I bench? Ricky, MVS, or T? So we're benching MVS.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ingram or Tucker Kraft?
It's going to be Ingram for me.
Do you think Tucker Kraft has the higher ceiling, though? Obviously, Ingram has the higher floor. Tucker Kraft has been getting there, but it's been super thin. But if you're a big underdog, do you take the swing with Kraft instead?
I mean, I think Ingram has the bigger ceiling, but
okay,
it's because of Kraft. I mean, he just doesn't run that many routes, and and he doesn't, even whenever they are in trailing scripts. I mean, he usually only sees like a 13, 14% target share, where Ingram could see a 30% target share.
Fair enough. Scott, DK, Jacobs, or Dobbins in the flex?
Man. It's DK Metcalf for me, but I really like Josh Jacobs too. Scott, can we not get both? Can we get both in there? I mean, how stacked is that team? But
Scott, who else are you starting at receiver and running back?
But and it'd be Boswell for me. He's my kicker 3.
Yeah, Boswell for me as well. But yeah, Scott, if you're still here, I'll keep an eye at the bottom of the chat. But let me know who else you're starting.
Need to win this week. Start 1 PPR. Only one of these: London, Tillman, Sutton, or Jennings. We're just gonna be wrong. I mean, this feels like one of those you're wrong no matter what. Because I really like 3 of these 4 quite a bit. I would go Jennings.
Yeah,
it's really close. I like Tillman a lot, but that can go so many different directions. Sutton
I like Sutton a lot.
Who are you starting? I want to know. Can you tell us who your whole team is here? I really like 3 of those guys for sure.
Goodness gracious.
DG Wavy, Knox or Hunter? This is going to be Knox.
Yep.
And then same one again. Start 1 PPR, Chase Brown, Hunt, or K9. My goodness.
Team is loaded.
I know. It's going to be
assuming it's the same league.
It's going to be Chase Brown.
No. Hold on, let me look at something here. Do you know how the Niners are in terms of pass catching off the top of your head to running backs?
They're not bad. I mean, the last time these 2 teams played, Kenneth Walker had 8 receptions in that game. He was targeted 11 times. That's how he got there. And he scored a couple touchdowns. He didn't do anything on the ground. It was all through the air.
I'm going to go K9 here.
All 3 are good options.
Yeah. Although it feels silly to go away from Chase Brown after we just saw the involvement he had through the air, but with T. Higgins coming back, does that affect it? So I lean Walker. These are all really close.
Yeah.
Hunt just had the passing involvement as well.
Yeah. He saw wide receiver 1 type. It was 10 targets.
Yeah. Goodness gracious.
And that's how you get. I mean, that's how you attack the Browns or the Bills. The Bills allow the most receiving or receptions and receiving yards and receiving touchdowns to running back. So,
golly.
With Sutton on London, Pickens would be better start this week, right? Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, we both have Pickens as a wide receiver 1 this week.
Yeah.
And I think
I
he's in our top 8 for both of us.
Yeah. Phenomenal play for George Pickens. George Pickens has been an absolute baller with Russ. Tua or Geno. I'm gonna go Tua here, but it is close. I really do like Geno a lot.
Yeah. I think I agree.
Like I think this is like again like because like with Tua, it's like because if they were able to get out quickly and up by a lot on,
Right.
then I think then that's where like that's what worries you with Tua, because Tua doesn't run or anything like that, so he's not going to get you anything there. Like you need Oakland or the Raiders to stay and like to push them. I think for Tua to get there, where Geno, I don't think you really have to worry about the 49ers getting blown out or anything like that, to where Geno's not going to have to throw the ball a ton. And the Seahawks have thrown the ball at one of the highest rates in the league. The last time those two teams played, Geno threw the ball 50 times. So like I think it's close between the two of them. I think Tua is probably the better play just because of the defense, but Geno also definitely think can get there off volume alone. And then Denver or Miami.
I'm going Miami.
Yeah, even though it's pretty negatively correlated.
Yeah. So before we get too far removed, so this was the DK versus Jacobs question.
Oh, I would sit Brian Thomas. If he's, I don't know if he's playing him. I guess that doesn't necessarily mean he's starting him. But if you are starting Brian Thomas, I would sit Brian Thomas.
Yeah. No, but now I understand why Jacobs is not in that lineup.
Yeah, this is a really good team.
Good Would you? Well, I mean, I guess we'd be starting Tillman anyway.
Yeah.
Right, but I mean, I have DK ranked over Tillman. I know you're pretty high on Tillman this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, if Brian Thomas is in the starting lineup, I agree. Get him out and then put Jacobs in the flex.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we answered the defense question, did we? Oh yeah.
Yeah, we did. Because you said it was
negatively correlated. And this is Knox. We've had this one already for both of us.
Yeah. Yep.
I have Kincaid, who is out, so I got him on my R spot for now, but wanted to pick someone up just in case they blow up more with the new OC. Should be a good thing. Vlad nested. Oh, I would pick up Vlad McConkey. If I had to make a decision between DJ, most with the DJ Moore one, and so if I had to between DJ Moore and Lad McConkey, I would go McConkey.
I would go DJ Moore over Lad.
Yeah, I mean, it's if it's not the thing that worries me is I guess the offensive coordinator is really bad, but what worries me is just also their offensive line is shredded. I mean, their offensive line's been bad, but they've also have a ton of injuries to their offensive line. They just also lost Lloyd Cushenberry to a torn Achilles. Like it's just been one thing after another for their offensive line this year. So,
Lad's safer for sure.
Yeah. True Teller, and also I will say the Chargers' upcoming schedule is awesome. I mean, there's going to be a lot of games they're going to throw the ball a lot and in good matchups. So my trade for CMC got vetoed. Tried to trade Jacobs and Adams and Geno for CMC and Daniels.
How is that? Oh my God. This is what I cannot stand about redraft leagues, because this kind of shit happens. Like, there is no world that this is a vetoable trade under no circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly you clearly wanted the CMC side, which is why you made the trade. But like, it's not like it's like egregious. It's not like you traded 3 bench, guys for these guys. Like, it was like that's what it has to be. It has to be like clear collusion. Like, but people use vetoes as like, hey, I don't want this team to get better. This team might be better than me now. Playoffs, everything else, and they use it as a tool versus what it should be for is just in the rare instance that you can prove that something's gone wrong, and people are the last place team is trading with the first place team, and just trading, their studs for just garbage. Like then you're like, okay, there's something wrong with this.
Yeah.
This is not that. This should not be vetoed, but it happens all the time. People like to interject and think that it doesn't matter what your opinion is on a trade. Like if you think that a trade's not fair, it doesn't matter. Like that's not the point. That's not what that's for. So, but it happens all the time. It's super frustrating.
Do I try to trade again for the same two guys, but throw in Bijan instead of Jacobs? So basically, what he's saying is, would you rather have Bijan or CMC rest of the season?
Rather have CMC.
Yeah, I agree.
But then again, I still think though, now you're doing Bijan and Adams, and I think then you're giving up more.
Right.
Because Bijan's not that far away from CMC rest of season.
No.
I think there's a clear tier break between I think it's CMC and then I think Bijan's just slightly below him. But then you're probably giving up more at that point. If you already have it, I probably don't worry about it and probably just roll with what you got. Because I mean, I don't think this is like the original trade that you made. Yeah, I definitely would have made that all day. But throwing in Bijan, I just think you're almost kind of a push, and you're almost giving away too much a little bit.
I agree.
So that's the kind of way that I would view it. Bo Nix or Stroud. This is going to be Bo Nix for me. Even though I know that Stroud's getting back Nico, and I absolutely love that for them. I just worry about the Cowboys being able to do anything in this game to be able to do anything. So much better games are coming for Stroud. Like Stroud with Nico was a borderline top 12 quarterback. Stroud without Nico has been a droppable quarterback. Like he was like quarterback 26. So this is huge for him, but I just don't know if this is the spot unless Cooper Rush all of a sudden turns into something more than what he's ever been. So I don't see that happening either. Yeah. John, Kittle out. Should I drop someone for a tight end? If so, Jennings, Tillman, Flowers, or Mooney?
I mean, do you already have a tight end 2 on your team, John? I'm assuming you don't if you have Kittle.
Well, you should be able to. So what I would do, because I saw it a little bit further down, he said best options on waivers are a tight end this week are Taysom, Disley, Jonnu, and Knox. So what I would do, honestly, I would wait until until Kittle gets ruled out officially, and then you should be able to move him into your IR as long as you have that. And once that happens, just pick up Will Disley. Or if you have time in that time, you could add Knox because Knox plays a 325 game. But once they officially rule out George Kittle, and then you could just put him on IR, and then if you have to, either pick up Knox if he's still there, if you have time to do that, or just pick up Will Disley who plays tonight. That's what I would do instead of having to drop. Because I don't want to drop any of those guys. I mean, I don't want to drop Tillman, Flowers. I mean, I'm damn sure not dropping Flowers. Mooney's been a top 15, 20 wide receiver this year. Tillman's been awesome. Jennings is going to get you don't want to drop any of those players. All you're doing is helping other people out. So I would wait as long as you have the ability to. Then, hell, if I didn't have a choice and I had to make a decision for this 1 week, drop your defense or whatever. If you have a defense, like if you're starting defense, who cares? Like I'm not dropping a player that I know that like I'm going to want to play from here on out versus a defense that I can just stream every single.
Yeah.
If I had no other choice.
Right. I think it makes sense. Warren or Estime in a PPR is going to be Warren for me.
This is going to be Estime for me.
Guess I'm just the Estime hater. Adam, start one options are A-Rod, Love, Stafford, or May.
I'm going to go Jordan Love.
Jordan Love for me as well. We already got through that. Have Garrett Wilson locked in. Scared about starting London because of Surtain. Got Jennings on my bench. Tillman, Sutton on waivers. Yeah, I would go. Yeah, it's Jennings over London. Ingram or Pop in a PPR. They don't play tight end position this league, but they can be flexed.
It'd be Ingram for me.
I'm going to go Ingram as well. AP rocking with us. Ridley, Zay, or Amari start one. That's going to be Zay for me.
Yep.
I think Ridley could. Like the matchup is there. Like I said earlier, I don't think you were here, AP. But the thing that worries me is it's Will Levis going up against the blitz of the Vikings defense, and I think he could just get his fucking head hammered in. And this could be another one of those games like we saw the game earlier in the year. He had 9 targets, no catches. Like it wouldn't surprise me if we saw something similar. And Ridley's numbers look a lot better last week, but he also had just like a garbage time, did not matter whatsoever touchdown with like what was it, 90 seconds left or something like that. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be Zay. Really like Zay in this matchup.
Yes, AP Dawson Knox is a good play, but I would play him over Taysom and Disley.
Katie got some answers in the chat. The chat that he's referring to is our Discord. So if you would like to join, I will go ahead and drop the link in the comments. But Pollard or Myers, the flex is going to be Jacoby for me.
Yeah, he's just seen a really good target. And last week the last time they played, he actually saw with Gardner Minshew. That's the only thing. I don't know what they were doing when they put in Desmond Ridder. Like, what are we doing here? Because he was seeing like a 50% target share with Gardner Minshew, and then once they switched to Ridder, that fell. But he still is seeing, since Devontae Adams has been gone, he is seeing like a 32% target share, which is elite. So yeah, we're definitely playing him. Truth teller, I want to trade Adams because I have Garrett Wilson. So either Adams, Jacobs, or just CMC, or JSN and Jacobs for CMC. I don't think I can get Daniels in this trade since I got vetoed, or do I trade for it? I don't know if that's the reason I would have got vetoed, especially the way Jane Daniels has played the last like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like he has not played very well at all. And so like I can't imagine that was I just think it was the CMC part of it. People don't think it's a fair trade because it's Christian McCaffrey. Which is, again, same thing I've said. Like, it's just absolutely, who cares? It does not matter what anybody else thinks. But if you're really trying to pull it off, then yeah, I guess maybe you try the Adams Jacobs for CMC and see if.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to get it done. You could try.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Like if I had to choose, I would choose JSN and Jacobs. But like I don't think that gets it done. So I think I'm still fine with Adams and Jacobs too. And I don't think you need to go and trade for Daniels with Russ and Gino. Like I think those two have been good enough that you can choose who to play on a weekly basis and just rotate through the two. The Smitty 4 and 6 need to win out for the playoffs. 2 QB Superflex League, May or Stafford. It's gonna be Stafford for me.
It's going to be Drake May.
Okay. And then I'm going to sit Ramondre.
Yes.
Maybe a better way to turn my situation. Start 2, DK Tillman or Jacobs.
DK and Jacobs for me.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's right. Jennings, Reed, or DK. It's going to be DK for me.
Yep.
By a smidge. Sean, pick 3, Sutton, Tillman, Ridley, Devontae, D-Hop. Oh, boy.
D-Hop, Devontae, and Tillman.
Devontae. I'm going to go Devontae, Sutton, and Tillman. But D-Hop is right there. Ridley is the distant 5 here. It's like Sutton's matchup a bit more than D-Hop's. But all those guys are like super close and jumbled in our rankings. Like they're all right there. Luck to you, Sean. Other leg here for Truth, 2 wide receivers, tight end, running back, Shakir, Pickens, Jennings, Kamara, Chase Brown, and Njoku, Ingram.
Goodness. So it'd be Pickens and Jennings at wide receiver.
Yep.
Tight end would be Njoku. Running
Yep.
back would be Kamara.
Yeah, I'm with you. Crafter Jonnu this week.
It'd be Tucker Kraft.
It's going to be Kraft for me. Probably Kraft rest of season as well. That one's close. Live creation. Good to see you back in here. Would y'all go Downs against the Jets or Moore at home with a new OC?
I think with this, I would go DJ Moore, but I don't feel great about it.
I think so as well. This one's going to be Taysom over Kmet for me.
Yep.
Truth, appreciate you. You're awesome. Good luck to you as well. EC, Purdy over Burrow this week. Oh, boy. I think so. That's really close.
I lean Burrow here, but it is really close. I do like it more with T. Higgins supposed with back, getting his full complement of weapons out there. The Chargers defense, while it's been really good, I also would say it really hasn't been tested all that much. Their schedule has been pretty favorable for them so far, and so this is one of the few times this year we're going to see this team, really be tested. I like Purdy a lot too. Purdy just always worries me just because he's probably only going to throw the ball like 28 to 30 times. It really depends on script, on how this game goes. Christian McCaffrey could easily steal a couple touchdowns from him. It just worries me a little bit more, where Joe Burrow, I feel a lot more confident that he's probably going to throw the ball up.
It's fair.
It is super close. And for context, I have both of them as top 6 quarterbacks. So it's not like it's not like either one of these guys are bad.
Yeah. I Purdy slightly over Burrow. Rank these 3 rest of season: Ramondre Chubb, Tracy. So I think for both of us, I can comfortably say Tracy's going to be the top of that list. I would have Chubb second, Ramondre third, but I feel like you're going to have that flipped, right, Kev?
Yes.
Tracy the top for sure, though.
Yeah.
Super upsetting. I did not get Tracy in any of my dynasty leagues. And I feel like that buy window has passed. Another one here from Live Tight End Premium League: Judy in the flex or Patty Fry with a good Baltimore matchup.
I think it's Judy. I know it's a tight end premium. It's just they just don't really get him involved. Like Russ doesn't really ever look for tight ends. It's kind of been that way his entire career. I know it's a really good it is a really good matchup. They're not going to have Kyle Hamilton either, which helps even more. I just don't know if the volume's going to be there. If enough volume will be there for him. Where I could say that Judy, even though that he hasn't really popped off, he's still seeing a really solid target share with Jameis Winston. So I would just lean and go Judy.
Hamilton is in.
Oh, he is playing.
But I mean, it's still the point.
It doesn't matter. Regardless, whether he plays or he doesn't play, he has still been that defense has been awful. Their pass defense has been absolutely awful.
Yeah, it would obviously be worse without Kyle Hamilton, but even with Kyle Hamilton playing, they've still been one of the worst secondaries in the entire league. And the other thing with Patty Fry is like now they're starting to do these play action boots where it's Darnell Washington getting the target and not Patty Fry. So like that takes it down a little bit as well. There's rotating too many. Like Michael Pruitt is getting fucking involved because it's Arthur Smith's little baby boy pet project. So I think I would still lean, unless this is like a massive tight end premium, but typically we see like it's like an extra half point. That's the only way. But I agree. I think I would take the swing on Judy. Pitts, Henry, or Fergie Ferg. This is going to be Pitts for me.
Agreed.
Stevenson, ETN, Higgins in the flex. It's going to be Higgins.
Yeah, Higgins.
Sean, is Kyler a good QB rest of season? Do I go out and try and get another QB?
Oh, Kyler is one of the best rest of season quarterbacks there is. You don't need anybody. I think they have like the fourth easiest remaining schedule. Their schedule is awesome the rest of the year. So
Very
their fantasy playoff schedule is awesome. Top 5 matchups there as well. So yes, Kyler is a phenomenal rest of season quarterback.
Yeah, hard not to like that schedule that he has.
Yeah, I'm trying to buy like all the Cardinals that I can. The rest for us, especially coming off a bye where it just kind of helps out a little bit more. I want Cardinals on my team because their schedule is really good the rest of the way.
Yeah, they come back, get the Seahawks, which I had higher hopes for the Seahawks defense at the beginning of the year with Mike McDonald coming over, but like it just hasn't all come together for them. Then they get the Vikings, which is obviously a great matchup for the passing offense. Seahawks again. Patriots, you're not worried about. The Panthers in week 16, and then the Rams in week 17. So, J-Mo with Laporta out or Mooney for the high floor targets?
I think this comes down to what it is that you need, right? Like, I think Jameson Williams has the higher ceiling just because of his ability to, obviously take a 60-yard touchdown to the house. Though I don't know if I think the floor is lower for Jameson Williams than it is for Mooney. So I just think it really comes down to what it is you need. I think both of them are really close. Both of them are, I think borderline top 25 wide receivers this week. I would lean towards Jameson Williams, but it is close between the two of them. Oh, I'm 9-1, so no real urgency. Yeah, that's. And depending on the how everything else shakes out for the team. I mean, that good for you, 9-1. That's a good feeling, especially with way this year's gone with all the injuries and everything else. So that is a good thing. And then Sean, and one last question: do I keep BDJ because T-Law is coming back, or do I sell him? You can't really sell him right now. He's done absolutely nothing. Right. This is a very pro Brian Thomas show here. I am a huge Brian Thomas guy. I think that he is going to be really, really good. I just think the injury and then them losing Trevor Lawrence. Now, like you said, it does sound like Trevor Lawrence is a shot to come back after their bye, which is next week. I definitely want to hold on to Brian Thomas. I think that bye will do Brian Thomas a lot of good, getting Trevor Lawrence back, and then also just getting himself healthy could come at the right time. And Brian Thomas could end up being, down the stretch, a league-winning type wide receiver. So they do actually have some pretty good matchups coming up. So I would definitely hold Brian Thomas for sure.
Yeah.
Cooper or DJ Moore, and Stevenson or Cooper for Jason.
I think I'm going to go with the two. Assuming this is for the same team, I'm going to go with the two receivers.
I would go Stevenson and DJ Moore.
It's DJ Moore over Cooper, and then I would have Cooper over Stevenson. Just kind of a little worried that Rams potentially just might jump out to a big lead, and then we see a different running back get involved in the passing game. That's the only thing that would worry me. But I don't love Cooper either, just because it's going to be playing with the cast. Matchup isn't great.
Yeah. EC have to start Mike Williams this week. Do you think he gets? Yeah, he's going to get a bigger workload. I don't. He barely played last week, which to be expected. He played a little more than I thought he was going to play, but he's going to. I would say he probably has a shot at probably getting closer to like 50% of the routes or something like that this week. 50-55% of the routes. You know who I also really like is Calvin Austin. Calvin Austin's been seeing like 4 to 6 targets every single week as like a YOLO type play. So I like Calvin Austin in that same offense. I actually like him more than Mike Williams this week. A couple others that like there's the Kayshon Boutte stuff that is gaining some steam this week. He's fine. He's also saying like 4 to 6 targets as well. But yeah, that's the way I view it. Tyler, Judy, Dell, or Downs. This would be Dell for me.
Dell.
Yeah.
It looks like Tyler's with us.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that is all of the questions that we have here. So appreciate everybody rocking with us today. Really fun game. Really fun day of games. I mean, we have the noon game with the Steelers and Ravens, which that should be a lot of fun. Then we go to 3 o'clock and we got the Chiefs and the Bills, which is always a really good game. And then from there, the night game of the Chargers and the Bengals. I mean, so like every window has some really quality. And there's some other really good games mixed in between there. Seahawks and 49ers should be good too. That 3 o'clock window looks really good. So there's going to be a lot of red zone today. So hopefully this week is a lot better because last week's scoring was absolutely terrible. I mean, just god awful.
Gotta give them credit for trying, Kev. They're not giving up.
Yeah. I know. That's the third time they've tried to post that. Hello, Gus. Edwards, Estime, Warren, needs standard.
You put the comma in the wrong place there, Kev.
Yeah, I know.
Hello, Gus.
Harold, this is going to be Estime for me, especially in a standard league.
I'm going to go Edwards. I don't know why I hate Estime so much.
I don't know either.
I don't.
You know what that means. He's going to come out today and have like 90 yards and a score, and you're just going to be kicking yourself all day. Or you could be right, and he could go for like 30 yards and not score.
I just don't. I don't know. I just don't trust it yet. You know what I mean? Like, would really surprise you if it was a little bit more even, and it wasn't like because Williams had one carry last week, I believe.
Yeah.
Like if that's just like a little bit closer instead of 14-1 or whatever the split was, I think that could potentially hurt.
It's all about game script for him for the most part. And then Rams or Texans. This is Texans, not even close.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So. All right. We're going to get out of here. Got some other stuff to do. Got our own lineups to try to figure out for the next 45 minutes before kickoff happens. But we'll be back tonight for the waivers. Again, knock on wood. Hopefully we don't get a bunch of injuries or anything like that to happen today. It's been rough enough out there for everybody, especially with all the bye weeks coming up. It's really going to be some fun. We got some bye-mageddon stuff happening over the next 3 weeks. So we're going to have a good day. A lot of good games today. And we'll be back in tonight and then keep it rolling with all of our content for this week. So appreciate it. And we will have a good day and let's get some dubs.